we will discuss game theory. So let's ask you what do you understand by the term game. Everybody follows cricket, IPL.
Yes, sir.
At least some of you follow IPL, or some of you are interested in football. I think all the boys are interested in football. এ আবার কি আসছে, ক্লাস শুরু হয়ে গেছে এতক্ষণ পরে এখনো জয়েন করলে কি করে হবে শর্মিষ্ঠা? হ্যাঁ, all of you are. So what happens in a game? Who can tell me, please? Somebody please tell me what happens in a game. Oh baba.
Sir, loss and win.
A loss and win together.
Loss, win, and draw.
Loss, win, and draw. Now, what happens in a game? What happens in a game?
So there are two teams in a game,
Yes,
and
generally there are two opposition parties playing. Two teams, at least two teams are playing, and they are contesting against each other. And both the parties are trying to win. Right? Think about a game, uh, if a cricket match or a football match or a either there are two teams or two individuals could be possible also, like the game of chess. Now, how can you relate a game with respect to a real life problem in, and not the game, but think about a situation in your economics or in your market, like think about two companies, Coca-Cola and Pepsi. Both of them are playing game against each other. What is the game they are playing? Say this is a market. This is the market, and Coca-Cola and Pepsi are both trying to sell their cold drinks in the market. So I have drawn a circle. It's just a shape, and say I am assuming that C is the portion amount of people who drinks Coca-Cola, and P is the portion of the people or the number of people who drinks Pepsi. So they are playing a game with each other. Now, when a game is played, how the game is played? Think about a football game or a cricket game. How the game is played? Anybody has any idea? Wants to say anything?
Within some rules and regulations.
Oh, yes, right. With some rules and regulations.
Strategy.
Right, strategy. That was the term that I was looking for. Strategy. Play, teams play games with certain strategy. Means who will be opening first? Think of cricket. Who will be the starting bowler? Who will be the who will be bowling at the death? Who will be bowling at the power play? Like that. So there are different strategies, and accordingly, the batting team also takes certain strategies. And so when you play a game, you play with strategies. Like if you think about a football match, you play a game in a say diamond system or 4-3-3, or there are several ways. So whenever you play a game, you play with certain strategies. And what are the now ultimate objective is win more and more. In this case, ultimate objective is win more and more customers, because this whole market scenario, Pepsi is trying to sell its product, Coke is also trying to sell its product. It wants to sell in product in such a way so that more and more customers drink Pepsi. Coke is also trying to sell its product so that more and more customers drink Coke. Now, what are the strategies they take? কেউ একজন বলো, give examples. Like if Pepsi is doing advertisement with Virat Kohli, then Coca-Cola is doing advertisement with Ranbir Kapoor, like that. So that strategy and counter strategies are being used. Are key. What else? What else? What other strategies that they use? Give another example, somebody.
They are giving some discounts.
Yes, if you are getting say 1.5 ml, sorry 1.5 liter in say 50 rupees, then the other company says okay you will get one point say 200 ml free in 48 rupees, 45 rupees and 200 ml free, 1 liter bottle. So I'm just trying to give an example, not necessarily to exactly what is the value I do not know. I do not. So they are using strategies and counter strategies so that they want to, Pepsi wants to eat Coke's share. Pepsi wants to eat Coke's share so that these people will buy extra. The market size is fixed so that these people they can be converted to a Pepsi drinker, or the other way around if if Coke is Coke also wants to do like this. It is also trying to do it so that do such a way so that the less Pepsi drinkers convert to Coke drinkers. So they are playing a game in this. So now we define what is a game. Do you get this? Do you understand? This is what is happening in case of a real life scenario. In case of real life scenario, both the teams are both the companies are playing a game with each other. Acha, can you give example of some other situation? Can you give example of some other situation? Can somebody give an example? Okay, let's.
Which is like if we talk about two fairness cream, maybe Ponds have launched a fairness cream, and Fair and Lovely has launched
The fairness
a
cream.
BB cream, a beauty cream.
Okay.
Ponds has launched one, and Maybelline has launched one.
No,
So
actually,
then,
what I'm trying to say is that this is similar to that of Coke and Pepsi. I want
okay,
something different, some different situation. Okay, some of you are from will be taking HR in the final in specialization. Some of you will be taking HR,
yes, sir.
and you have heard something, or in HR or in OB you have term you have heard this term collective bargaining. Collective bargaining. Have you heard this term? Collective
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
the
bargaining.
meaning of bargaining we know.
Yeah.
Like I know.
What?
So the meaning of bargaining we
Bargaining.
always
Yes.
use
Yes.
the term bargaining.
Okay, but collective bargaining is something like what happens between the management and the labor. Say, suppose, think about a situation where uh, there is a manufacturing industry, there is a factory, and the laborers, there is a labor union. There is a labor union, and labor union has called a strike. They have 10 point agenda. They have 10 demands. They have 10 demands, and they are saying okay, unless you unless the management takes up grants our demand, this 10 point demand, we will not let the factory run. And the management also saying okay, no, we will not listen to you. Let's keep the factory closed. So they put the put a lock in the factory. So what happens in that case? Then what happens?
They bargain on terms.
Yes, actually, if that is the case, then both the parties are losing something, because
Yes, sir, they both will suffer.
they both will suffer. The company will suffer because there is no production, so the product is not being prepared, so the product will not be sent to the market, and the product will not be sold in the market, so they cannot gain the profit, and that's how the company is losing money.
Yes, sir.
What happens for the laborers? They are also not, because they are not doing their work, they will not be getting their wages. They will not be getting their wages. So they are also losing. So after 3 days, 4 days, one week, they also feel the pinch in their pocket. So
Yes, sir.
this is not a good situation for both the parties. This is not a good situation for both the parties. Then what happens? Then there becomes a negotiation. Then both the parties sit together, a team from management and a team from the কি বলে, the um, a union, sit together and they discuss, they collectively bargain. Say out of 10 points, the management says, okay, okay, we will grant 4 of your wishes or 5 of your wishes. You start your work. So that way,
Yes, sir.
both the parties have something rather than nothing. আমরা বাংলা একটা কথা বলি, নাই মামার চেয়ে কানা মামা ভালো, তাই না?
Yes, sir.
Something is
Yes, sir.
better than nothing. Something is better than nothing. So it is always better if you have something on your hand rather than not having anything on your hand. So the management takes up grants five wishes, and the production also starts so that the profit can come up. So that is called collective bargaining, because that becomes a win-win situation. This situation is also a game. Here game is paid between the management and the workers. And collective bargaining is something where both the parties are in a situation where both the party gains something and loses very small, maybe. Both the parties are not getting the whole, but letting something out of, which is better than getting nothing. Okay, I can give you.
Yes, sir.
So game is a situation where conflict of interest arises. So what is the conflict? Conflict of interest means the example that we have given, like playing a game of football or playing a game of cricket. Both the parties are trying to win, but both the teams cannot win simultaneously. So there is the conflict of interest. As both of them are trying to win, they cannot both cannot win simultaneously, and that there lies the conflict, and thus that particular situation will be termed as game. The other example that I have given, that that Coke and Pepsi example, that Coke is trying to win more and more customers from Pepsi. Pepsi is also trying to win more and more customers from Coke. But since the market size is fixed, they if one person wins, the other person must lose. One person wins or one team wins, then the other team must lose. Both cannot win simultaneously. Hence, there is the conflict of interest, and thus this situation will be termed as game. And game is a situation where neither maximum nor minimum is the optimum solution. Here we define optimum. I think if you remember when we have started the optimization technique or optimization, we have defined optimization as best possible solution. So best possible solution in this case is something which is neither maximum nor minimum, but somewhere in between. Like if a game of football, if draw happens, then both the teams are happy. At least something you have gained other than getting the 0 point. If you lose, you get 0 point. If you win, you get 3 points. But if you draw, then both both the teams will get 1 point. So both the teams will be somewhat happy, not entirely happy, but both the teams will be somewhat happy. So that is the best possible solution in this case. So game is a situation where conflict of interest arises, and game is neither maximum The optimum solution of a game is neither maximum nor minimum, but something in between. But somewhere in between. Okay. Okay. Have you heard about something called Nash? Somebody named Nash. John Nash. Have you heard the name this John Nash, who is a very famous mathematician actually, and who has given this game theory. Have you heard the same name, John Nash?
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
Okay, how many of you have seen the movie? You know, মনে পড়ছে না। আরে রাসেল ক্রো ছিল ম্যাথমেটিশিয়ান, কিছুতেই মনে পড়ছে না। আচ্ছা পরে বলবো। Because that movie was with on John Nash. কি গেম কিছুতেই মনে পড়ছে না।
A beautiful mind.
A Beautiful Mind, right? A Beautiful Mind, very good, right? That was the name of the movie. Any of you have? I think Momita has heard, seen, isn't it? It's Momita's voice.
Sir, I just googled.
Google, right? John Nash, right?
Yes, yes.
A Beautiful Mind. Nobody has seen.
No,
No, sir.
sir.
No,
Oh,
sir. No, sir.
okay. If you haven't
No.
seen, please see. It's an excellent movie. Just because this movie is on John Nash, and he has given this game theory actually, and this is a very important aspect. There's Nash's equilibrium. There is a term. John Nash is a Nobel laureate. I think he died in 1993 most probably. John Nash, he has got Nobel Prize in economics on because of his game theory, and game theory is a important aspect in economics. Acha, how many of you have heard this term prisoner's dilemma? Anybody? Prison prisoner's dilemma. এই টার্মটা শুনেছো কেউ? আচ্ছা, যদি না শুনে
No,
থাকো,
sir.
okay, if you haven't heard
No,
this
sir.
term, I think in economics later term maybe you will be hearing these terms. Okay, we will be discussing these things later. Yeah, let's go back to the game that we are talking about. So we define, please write some more definitions. We will write two person zero sum game. Zero sum game. So 2% zero sum game. What is it? What is 2%? 2% zero sum game is a game where winning of one person is equals to the loss of the other person.
Please repeat, sir.
Yes, winning of or win of one person or profit of one person is equal to the loss of the other person. There are two persons who are playing the game, so that the sum remains zero. Sum remains zero means, say suppose both the person starts with rupees 100, and after the game is over, person A has rupees 120, and the obviously person B will be having rupees 80 because he has to pay the uh, person A rupees 20. In that case, win of the one person, that is rupees 20, is same as the loss of the other person. So that the total sum, that is 100 plus 100. Initially it was 100 plus 100, that is 200. Now it is 120 plus 80. So it remains as 200. So that's why it is called two-person zero-sum game. Actually, why we are seeing the money is being transferred? Because as we have said that Pepsi is trying to gain the gain something from Coke, and Coke is trying to gain something from Pepsi. So that is being represented in a payoff matrix. Represented in a payoff matrix. I'm just writing the payoff matrix. What is a payoff matrix? A is playing the game, say A1, A2, A3, and A4. A has 4 strategies, and B has 3 strategies, B1, B2, and B3. Okay? Person B is written as top, and person B A is written as left, in the left. This is the standard convention. The person who's written as in the left is assumed to be the winning player, and this payoff matrix is written in terms of player A. So I am writing some values. I'll explain after I write the values. Okay, so say 3 0 minus 4 2 1 5 minus 6 4 1 7 minus 3 2. So I have written. Please write. Are you writing? Please write.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then I'll
Yes, sir.
explain. Please write the. This is called a payoff matrix, and the payoff matrix is the outcome or output that is represented by in the state of in a matrix form. In this particular case, the payoff matrix is written in terms of player A, means whoever is written in the left, and the person who is written as top is called the losing player. That is, here the player B is the losing player and player A is the winning player, and the values written in terms of player A. Now, as you see, what this matrix means, player A is has 4 strategies: A1, A2, A3, and A4, and player B has 3 strategies. When player A plays strategy 1, that is A1, and player B plays strategy 1, that is B1, then the value 3 implies player B has to give player A rupees 3. Plus value indicates player B gives player A that money, and the minus value represents player A gives player B. So that means A1 B3, A1 B3. That means player A is playing strategy 1 and player B is playing strategy 3. That in that case the value is minus 4. That means player A has to give player B rupees 4, and that is why it is written as minus 4. Okay, do you get my point? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Have you
sir.
understood? So positive values means player B will give player A that amount of rupees, and negative value means player A will give player B that amount of rupees. Okay, and these values are written. This is a convention that this matrix is written in terms of player A. Always it is written in terms of player A. Player A, as by convention, player A is termed as the winning player, and player B is termed as the losing player. That is by convention. Okay. So game theory is something which comes under the environment of decision, under the decision making environment of conflict, and a game is actually of two types: Game is of two types. One is called deterministic game. Please write. Deterministic game, and the other one is probabilistic game. So deterministic game and probabilistic game. Achha, let me write it in a small manner. Game are of two types. One is deterministic. The other one is probabilistic. Okay, probabilistic. Deterministic game and probabilistic game. Now, what is a deterministic game? We'll come to that. Uh, Deterministic game is something. Let's define something called pure strategy. Pure strategy. STRATEGY. What is pure strategy? Let's define pure strategy. Pure strategy is the strategy when both the players play with same strategy again and again. Again, I'm repeating. Pure strategy is the strategy when both the players play with the same strategy again and again. That will be termed as pure strategy. When both the players play with same strategy again and again, that will be termed as pure strategy. Example, এটা আমি আরেকটা example দিচ্ছি.
Sir, when both the players will play with the same
Same
strategy.
strategy again and again.
Sir, here 0 means A and B are not playing with each other.
No, 0 means A and B is playing with. I'll come to that. 0 means A and B is playing with each other, but no money is being exchanged.
Okay.
No money is being exchanged. Say this is an example of another game. Player A has three strategies: A1, A2, and A3. Player B also has three strategies: B1, B2, and B3. And the payoff matrix is like this: -1, 2, say 1. Okay. Now think of, if, say, I'm just giving example, it is not necessarily true. If it happens that A always plays A2 and B always plays B3. If it happens that, if
You,
if it happens that A always plays with A2, strategy A2, and B always plays with strategy B3, how he plays, that will be discussed later. That will be discussed later. I'm assuming. I'm assuming that if A always plays that same strategy A2, if 10 times it is repeated, every time he is playing A2, 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 and if B is playing B3, then A2, A2, B3 will be termed as pure strategy. And the corresponding game will be termed as a deterministic game. And the corresponding game will be termed as a deterministic game. Are you writing? Are you writing, students?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
yes, sir.
So deterministic game is played with pure strategies, and for a deterministic game there is another term called saddle point. ACDDLE, saddle point. And in case of a deterministic game, there is saddle point. What is saddle point? Where saddle point is the point where pure strategy of player A
So
coincides.
the saddle point is under deterministic only,
Yes,
na?
is the under deterministic only. Saddle point is under deterministic only. So saddle point is a point, sorry, is a place or is a particular strategy for both the players where where pure strategy of player A coincides with
Sir, can you please repeat the point? Is the particular strategies
sorry, where pure strategy
where
of player A coincides with pure strategy of player B.
player
Player A.
Like in this
pure
case,
strategy
it
of
is pure strategy of player A coincides with pure strategy of player B. So pure strategy of player A in this case is A2 and pure strategy of player B is B3. So pure strategy of player A and player B coincides at A2 comma B3. So A2 B3 point is called the saddle point. Now, is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
I'll just stop. Please write this. Just let me check. 1 minute. Then I'll come back. So let's take this example that A has three strategies and B has three strategies. A A has A1, A2, and A3, and B has also three strategies B1, B2, and B3. Please tell me the values that I have written in the previous one.
sir 1,
One,
2 column wise.
uh, column wise. अच्छा,
Yes, sir.
sorry. बोलो one,
2.
column wise.
Yes, sir.
One, two, minus
Minus 1.
uh, then
Then 3, 4,
three, four,
2.
two,
Then minus 2,
minus two,
0,
zero, minus
0,
one.
1.
No, I think
Minus 1.
minus
Yes,
one.
sir. Minus 1.
Minus
Hmm.
one. Now, now, please, students, please understand and please try to uh, explain. Now, think as I have defined A as winning player. I have defined A as winning player and I have defined B as the losing player. Now think about yourself as player A. Okay? Think about yourself as player A. Now somebody please answer. If you are player A, which which strategy you want to play and which strategy you do not want to play? Some,
A2,
A2 I
A2
want to
and
play.
A2
A2.
why
and
A?
B3
If
A3
now
I
A2
তাড়াহুড়ো করতে হবে না।
A2
If you are
B3
a rational person, if you are a rational person,
A2 B2, sir.
you no no I'll not. I am talking about if you are player A and you are trying to win the game. You will always try to win. You will always try to gain more and more. So which strategy? What can you say that which strategy you will not play ever?
Sir 0.
Now which strategy
number 3
you
A3.
A3.
have
Oh,
A3
three
A3.
strategies? Yes, A3 you will never play. Why? Because
because there is
It has
um,
two
We have
negative.
not
negatives,
much
two
gain.
negatives.
yes, there are two negative values. You do not know what player B will be playing. They are two different persons. You only know the outcomes. You know that you have three strategies, B has three strategies. and if you play A1, B plays B1, then you will get rupees 1. If you play A1, B plays B2, you will get rupees 3. These values you know, but you do not know which strategy B you will play. B can play either B1 or B2 or B3. Similarly, if you are A, you can play either A1 or A2 or A3. So you want to play in the safe side. As you know, if you play A3, then there is possibility that you have to pay B more. There are two negative values. Two negative values means you have to pay to B. You are a rational person, so you will never play A3, isn't it? Also,
Yes, sir.
in case of A1 also there is a one negative value. So you will also not play this. You will also not play this. Now think about B. Think about B. If you are B, which one you want to play? Which one?
B2.
B2.
Which one you never
B2.
play?
B3.
B3.
বুঝলাম না.
B3 we will never play.
No, no,
A
no,
A2
no,
B3, sir.
no, no, no. B3 is
B3
the
B3 wants to play.
losing
B2
player.
wants
He
to
will
play.
B3,
never
sir. B3.
never play B2 because if he plays B2 every time he has to pay something to A.
So
So he
B3 will play.
B3.
what I
Sir,
am
B3.
saying is B2 B will never play B2 because whatever A plays B has to pay if he plays B2. Are you following কি বলতে চাইছি?
Yes, sir. Then
Yes, sir.
we will play B3, sir.
হ্যাঁ, for B because if he plays B3 it will be he has more chance to gain. তাই নয় কি? There is
Yes, sir.
-2 here, -1 here and 0 here means he don't have to play. So that is how the pre-order strategy is being decided. That is how the pure strategy is being decided. But without knowing anything, you can find out this logic that if you are a rational person, you will always play safe. If you are a rational person, you will always play safe. Why? Because you do not want to lose much. আগে সেফ খেলে তারপরে সেটাকে then you want to maximize your gain. Actually this is how we will solve in case of actually whether a game has a pure strategy or not, that can be obtained through this particular process. Please write the way I am saying. Okay, I'll be writing this table again. Okay, I'll be writing this table again because it's already. So please tell me the values. Row wise, please tell me the values.
Yes, sir.
First
1,
3
To A
minus
or
2.
1,
3
3,
minus 2.
minus 2.
240. Minus 1. 2 minus 1.
okay. So this is for player A and this is for player B. Now, whenever you are given a game and you are asked to solve the game, the first thing you have to do is to check whether there exists pure strategy or not, whether the game is deterministic or not. So for that, this is what you need to do. So as we have defined player A as the winning player and player B as the losing player. So we will use this approach. We will try to find out row min, row minimum. So what is row minimum? Row minimum is the amount minimum amount that A is supposed to gain, row minimum. Please define what is row minimum. Row minimum is the minimum amount player A is supposed to gain whatever strategy B plays. Whatever strategy B plays.
Sir, can you please repeat row
Yes.
minimum is?
Row minimum is the minimum amount A is supposed to gain whatever strategy B plays. So what is the value of row minimum? First row minimum is -2, second row minimum is 0, and third row minimum is minus
-1.
-1. So that means whatever B plays, A is supposed to get, if A plays strategy 1, he is supposed to get -2. If A plays strategy 2, minimum he wants to get, he will get is 0. And,
0.
and if A plays, it does not depend upon B, whatever B, that's what I said, whatever B plays. So row minimum is the amount of assured gain by A. Assured gain. Although you may say why there is a minus sign there, how can you say that is a gain? But that is the basic definition. That is the basic definition, that this is the minimum. Row minimum represents the minimum assured gain. Okay. Then we will find out for column, for B we will find out column maximum. So column maximum is the maximum assured loss. আবার বলছি, because B is the losing player, is the maximum possible loss we are trying to find out, and because A is the winning player or gaining player, we will try to find out the minimum possible gain. Row min represents minimum possible gain, column max represents maximum possible loss. So column max, first column is 2, second column is 4, third column is 0. Okay. Okay. Maximum possible loss, first column maximum 2,
স্যার
second column
থার্ডেতে 0 হবে না 1 হবে? ও -1 আছে, সরি।
-1 আছে। ঠিক আছে, ঠিক আছে।
হ্যাঁ স্যার, ঠিক আছে।
Yes, sir.
Okay. So column max is the maximum possible loss. Then we will find out max of row min. Max of row min, that is after you are assured of the minimum possible gain, then you will try to maximize. When I know what is the minimum possible gain I am available, then I'll try to maximize that. So max of row min, that is called max mean, that is 0, and minimum of column max, max of row min and mean of column max, minimum of column max, this is also 0. If they both coincide, if max of row min, sorry, is equals to mean of column max, and if they coincide, then the game has a saddle point. ম্যাক্স অফ রো মিন কে আমরা আরেকটা কথা বলি ম্যাক্সিমিন ম্যাক্স অফ রো মিন is termed as maximin and mean of column max is termed as minimax. So if maximin is equals to minimax, then the game has a saddle point and the game is played with pure strategy. Are you writing? Please write. If max of row mean, that is maximin, is equals to mean of column max, that is minimax, if they are equal, then the game has a saddle point and the game is played with pure strategy.
Sir, can you please repeat once again?
Again, I'll repeat. If the
Yes, sir.
if the maximin is equals to minimax, maximin means max of row minimum is equals to minimum of column max. Maximin means first find minimum, then find maximum. First
Yes, sir.
maximin means
Minimum of column.
maximin is maximum of row minimum. So first find row minimum, then maximize that value. And
Yes, sir.
minimax means minimax হচ্ছে minimum of column max. So first find column max, then minimize that. And if they coincide, then and then only there is saddle point. In this case, there is saddle point. The example that we were doing, they both coincide here, isn't it?
A2 3.
A2 comma B3, right? So this particular game has a saddle point and the game is played with pure strategy. And thus the game is also over. When you can find that the game is played with pure strategy, so that means both the players will be playing the game again and again. Both the players will be playing the game again and again with the same strategy. So A will always play A2 and B will always play B3. And we will write the optimum solution. We will write this way: SA star comma SB star. What is the meaning of SA star? S means strategy, A means A. Strategy of A star means optimum. So strategy of A star and strategy of B star means optimum strategy of AB is equals to A2 comma B3. So this is the solution, and B is the value of the game. B is called the value of the game, and B is the value which is the value at the saddle point. Value at the saddle point. In this case, the value of the game is
Zero.
0.
Zero.
Value of the game is 0. So value of the game is the value at the saddle point. Okay. So you have written all this. I'll just give another definition. Now, if the value of the game is 0, please write. If the value of the game is 0, then the game is called a fair game. If the value of the game is 0, then the game is called a fair game. That means this particular example, this particular game is a fair game. So we are playing stone, paper and scissor. Two players A and B are playing stone, paper and scissor, and they want to write the payoff matrix. So what happens if both of them plays stone? What happens? Nobody wins.
Draw.
Yes, sir.
Nobody wins. So the value becomes 0.
0.
The value becomes 0. If A plays stone and B plays paper, who wins?
A.
Paper.
No,
Paper.
paper wins. Paper wins
Stone.
over stone.
Stone.
That means A has to pay B, say rupees 1, suppose. Isn't it?
Yes,
Sir.
Yes,
Paper
sir.
wins over stone. আচ্ছা আমি লিখবো না, you write, if both the players play the same thing, then they do not pay each other any money. Okay, if stone and paper wins over stone, তাই তো? Paper wins over stone,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
scissor wins over paper, and
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
stone wins over scissor. That's the case, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Paper wins over stone, scissor wins over paper, and stone wins over scissor. And in that case, whoever wins, the other party has to pay rupees 1. ঠিক আছে? Whoever wins, the other party has to pay rupees 1. Now, can you write down this payoff matrix? So I am writing it for you. One example. So stone is 0, stone paper is -1, because paper wins over stone, and stone over scissor is +1, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Paper is 0, scissor is 0. So paper stone, this value will be 1, because A plays paper or B plays stone, so paper wins over stone. So B has to pay A rupees 1, and that is why it is positive. And this will be -1, and this will be -1. Sorry. Scissor over stone. Huh. This is
Scissor
-1.
Stone
loses over
wins.
stone.
Huh, stone,
Minus
Minus
1.
1.
and this is 1.
1.
So this will be the payoff matrix. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And can you find the whether check whether this is a কি বলে, whether this is a strategy or not? Can you tell me whether this is a pure strategy game or this is a deterministic game or not? So
It is. This is not sir. It is not a pure strategy.
no, this is
No,
not
sir,
pure
it is
strategy.
not.
Surely. So this is stone, paper, scissor, stone, paper, scissor, 0, -1, 1, তারপর হচ্ছে এটা হচ্ছে পেপার so 1,
1 0 minus 1.
1 0 minus 1.
-1, 1, 0. So minimum is -1, -1, -1. Column maximum is 1, 1, 1. So max of row mean is -1, mean of column max is +1. So this is not a game with pure strategy. That is okay. This is not a game
Yes, sir.
with pure strategy. So that means it must be a game with a mixed strategy.
Probabilistic.
Yes, probabilistic game. Right. So I'll just go back to that game part, and I'll finish today. So So we have already explained what is deterministic game. Now the other one is the probabilistic game. Probabilistic, and probabilistic game is played with something called mixed strategy. Mixed strategy. So probabilistic game is something called mixed is played with mixed strategy. So what is mixed strategy? Mixed strategy means sometimes I will play strategy 1, sometimes I'll play strategy 2, maybe sometimes I'll play strategy 3, like that. Similarly for B also, B will sometimes play strategy 1 or sometimes play strategy 2, like that. It's a mixture of strategy. When both the parties play the game with more than one strategies with some probability, then the game is called a probabilistic game, and it is played with mixed strategy. When
Sir, please can you repeat?
So
yes,
please repeat.
I'm repeating. Please write down the definition of a probabilistic game or a game with mixed strategy. A game when both the players playing with more than one strategies with some probability, then the game is termed as a probabilistic game, and the game is played with mixed strategy.
So, can you please repeat again?
When a game is played with more than one strategy, when both the players play with more than one strategy, then the game is called a probabilistic game, and it's played with mixed strategy. Mixed strategy means with some probability. We will define that in the next class again. Leave this probabilistic game, we'll do that next class.